Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. We're here to review the DAZN card from last night in Liverpool. Liam Smith versus Anthony Fowler. This is one of our predictions from last week. I'm here to talk with Rick, who's had a bit of a shocker on this one. So, yeah, where do we? Let's just get into it. What was your take on the fight?
Well, I'll throw it back to you because you always ask me. So go on, let you go on first on this one.
Do you know what? I think after the first round, or the first two rounds, I did say that Fowler would have some success because I watched back my my review just to see how kind of close I kind of called it. Obviously got the right result, but I did say that Fowler would have some success in the early parts of the fight. Obviously, the fresher fighter probably got a slightly better reach. He's a little bit awkward as well to hit, I think, Fowler, because he has that kind of wide stance. And he cuts Liam Smith in the first round, which looked pretty bad as well. And I did kind of fear the worst. I was like, oh no, my predictions are going to be off to a bad start. But I did really want Liam Smith to win as well, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I think Fowler maybe took a couple of the first, sort of, I think it was maybe 2-all, I think, after the first 4 rounds, but it did look very even and nip and tuck, and Fowler was having some success. But then Liam Smith just kind of found his rhythm, eventually kind of broke him down, knocks him down, I think in the 5th, and then closes the show down the stretch, as I kind of predicted. So it's one of those fights where you know what it's like with boxing predictions. It's not easy to get them right. And I've had some shockers this year in terms of predictions, but this was one that I felt that I kind of nailed it, really. Not to close so much.
You can imagine after the first round, I thought this is it, because my view was just one's on the way down, one's on the way up, and I just thought Liam's body looked a bit older in his movement. I just remember thinking very early on, he's past it. I think he's past his best, and he got caught. He got caught a few times. He seemed to get rattled. He was staggering a little bit.
Yeah. He had a terrible start.
Yeah, and I
did have a terrible start.
Cut. So I just thought, there's no way he's going to get through this. And he then obviously showed, one of those things where he's got a bit more left than I thought he might have.
Yeah.
And he just kept the pressure on, and it was pressure, obviously the balls to get through the early storm, and then his quality as well. Do you know what I mean? He did have the better skills in there, but I just thought, again, it might be one of those in a year's time it may have gone that way, but I just called it a bit too early because I just think
maybe
I just didn't think he'd be able to get through what he got through and then bounce back. I thought after that first round, I was like, this will be done in 3 or 4.
Yeah. He had a terrible start. Liam Smith does start slow, though. I remember he started quite slowly against Liam Williams. Yeah, but for both of the fights,
even after the first round, I remember thinking this could be done in like 3 rounds, and that's a lot earlier than I thought it would be done.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I know he starts slowly and that, but I didn't expect him to be cut and really shaken to his boots that early on. Thought it'd be a bit more cage first round, if I was honest. But a good fight as well.
Yeah, it's a cracking fight. Really good fight.
Fair play.
Yeah, no, really good fight. And I think talk about the Jesse Vargas fight next. Probably, obviously, going to be maybe Q1 of next year. I don't know if Jesse Vargas is a title holder, though, is he? I think it kind of if you can beat Jesse Vargas, it does kind of propel him into world title contention, because Vargas is a big name.
The name,
yeah.
Just thinking of Smith's record, who's the best win on Smith's record?
It's a good question. I'd probably say Liam Williams.
I'm saying it, but I don't know the answer either. But it's like, I feel he's kind of one of these that was he WBO?
He was WBO, yeah. He beat somebody that was, I can't even remember who he beat now for the actual WBO title, but that was when he was under Frank Warren.
Yeah, I do wonder if he's one of the WBO champions that is, the weakest of all the champions and probably didn't beat anyone that great, because I can't remember who it was he beat. And And then obviously he's well known for fighting Canelo and getting body shot, wasn't it? I think halfway through.
Yeah, he got nailed by a body shot. Yeah.
Put up a okay effort and stuff, but I look at him and go, yeah, he's kind of obviously domestic European and world level because he's won a title, but there's 4 titles now, and there's 4 titles at every single weight or more if you want to be pedantic, and it just does dilute what you need to be a world champion.
Yeah. He beat Zoltan Sira in 2014, and it was the vacant WBO title.
His older brother was a WBO world champion, wasn't he? The oldest Smith.
Paul Smith.
Yeah.
No, Paul Smith. No, Paul Smith didn't win a world title. There's only Liam Smith and Callum Smith that won world titles. Stephen Smith and Paul Smith only won domestic titles.
Why did I have in my head Paul Smith was WBO as well?
No, Paul Smith had lost. Paul Smith was in the similar era to Groves and DeGale, who he incidentally lost to both of them pretty convincingly as well. I think Paul Smith was probably the less talented out of the 4, I would say. I think either Callum or Liam, I would say, are probably the better of the Smith brothers.
Yeah, I mean Callum Smith was, he's probably the best, but you do get some of these WBO champions, and you're just like, yeah, in the era when there was just belts, you wouldn't be. So, and I think Smith may fall into that. So, but anyway, he's got a win under his belt. I hope he has another crack at it and go again.
Yeah, I think Liam Williams, I'll stand by that, is probably his best win, even though it is a domestic fight. Liam Williams has shown his class at world level against Demetrius Andrade, and I would say that is probably his best win. His only other blemish is obviously Canelo and Jaime Munguia. And Jaime Munguia is something I'm really high on. I think he's really, really special.
And the Russian.
Yeah, he lost to the Kabanov. It's an interesting fight, that. Kabanov, Russian, but very, very technical, like really slick kind of mover, almost kind of very Eastern Bloc kind of boxery, style. Very, very kind of slick boxer. It was a very close fight. I wouldn't say that it was a robbery. A lot of people calling it a robbery. It could have gone either way, but it wasn't on. The Kabanov was the home fighter, so that's why there's always. But yeah, good for Liam Smith. Onwards and upwards for him. We'll see what brings. Hopefully he can get that Vargas and beat him and go on to bigger and better things. So the rest of the card. Ted Cheeseman.
I saw a lot more Fury cards. Yeah, I only saw Cheeseman. There's more of the highlights I saw Cheeseman, but it just seemed to be a typical Cheeseman fight.
Yeah.
He just takes so much punishment and gives it out as well. But I think he was expected to win this one.
It was, yeah.
I don't think it was seen as like a pick over, but it was to progress further on. But I don't know with Cheeseman. I do worry he's one of those where he's taken so much punishment. He's never in fights that are easy, and I think he's a potential, brain damage victim waiting to happen for boxing. If he's only, I think we were saying before this, he's only 26.
Yeah.
So in a sense, go on for another 5-6 years, but he's only just in one types of fights.
Yeah,
he never seems to have an easy night.
No, I think the Troy Williamson it was billed as a close fight. Troy Williamson is quite high up in the rankings. A lot of people are quite high on him. It was close with the bookies.
He had success as well and stuff, but it was a heavy knockout at the end as well, and
it was pretty brutal. He started slow, actually, Ted Cheeseman. I think I gave Troy Williamson more rounds in the first half of the fight, but then Cheeseman, I thought, grew into the fight and started to look a lot more comfortable. And he looked like he was landing the cleaner work, but they were just trading leather. And this is the thing with Ted Cheeseman. He's a really good boxer. Like he's very good technically. He's got really good feet, but he just seems to abandon that every time and just go to war. Callum Johnson does that a little bit. Callum Johnson is actually a very kind of he can actually box really well on the outside, but because he's quite heavy-handed. I think he just likes to trade leather, and Ted Cheeseman's a bit like that. And then, yeah, at 26, I mean, if you look at his last few fights, he's fought Troy Williamson, JJ Metcalf, and a lot of people that really know their boxing that I know actually thought that JJ Metcalf was going to win that against Ted Cheeseman. You know, he knocks him out in the 11th round. Sam Egginton, Scott Fitzgerald, Kieran Conway, Sergio Garcia. You know, they're all kind of, you know, wars. I mean, Sergio Garcia kind of schooled him really, but big fights. And yeah, maybe just needs to kind of have a bit of a, I don't know, bit of time off. And
fight was another one, you know what I mean?
That was a cracking fight. Yeah, there was no way that fight could not, you know, be entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, brutal stoppage. Troy Williamson will go on to, you know, bigger and better things. Maybe you know, start knocking on the door for a European or world title. And I think Ted Cheeseman's got to kind of regroup really.
I think for me, for Cheeseman, and mainly for safety reasons, I'd like to see him, you know, try it, you know, go down again, have a couple more building fights, come back up, and then if he loses, he's probably what I know. I said I don't like telling people they should retire, but only because he's had so many bloody wars, and that, you know, that'll take him another 2 years, and how much more punishment it'll take then. If he was someone that didn't get hit as much, it was just...
yeah, exactly. And you know, he's not even kind of, you know, left the domestic scene yet. You know, this is before he's even knocking on the door for world titles. But I mean, you know,
like when you you know, think if you, you know, like Bruno, if you've lost a few world titles and you want to go again, but you can't get anywhere near it.
No.
But I get the feeling he's one of those people that's, you know, not mentally stable, and he's had gambling issues and probably needs the discipline to stay in. But it could be also the death of him, you know, in a sense. So that was my unfortunately the last. I had a lot more time on the Fury card, so that's the depth as I went into the Liverpool card.
Right, so I'll work my way. I'll keep working my way down because I tuned in pretty early for this card. I was pretty excited for it. Peter McGrail was on before that. He's the Olympian Scouser, 25 super bantamweight, southpaw. You know what it's like with debut fights. You never know what to expect. It's probably going to be a little bit erratic and amateurish, but my God, what a talent Peter McGrail is. And Liverpool have got another fantastic, you know, fighter on their hands to be, you know, he's going to give, I think, some memorable nights over the years. He looks really, really special.
Was he this Olympic cycle?
Yeah. Yes, he's just gone pro. It's his pro debut. Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those where they're... Sorry?
Did he medal?
Yeah, I think he got gold. I don't know. I mean, you should know this. You're the Olympic correspondent.
I know. I've forgotten, and considering it's probably still our worst video, I've forgotten about it all.
Yeah, Peter McGrail. Do you not remember him?
Probably know him by sight, but can't remember.
Anyway, I mean, there's you know, they're drawing comparisons to Lomachenko, which, you know, it's a little bit embarrassing at this early stage, but I know that you hate these kind of early comparisons, but you can see where they are coming from. It was Lomachenko-esque, but very composed kind of performance, very accurate. He just could not get hit. Like, he was zipping in and out of range. His lateral movement was good, head movement. He's got it. He's got it all. He's got it all. I don't really get that pumped up for prospects until, you know, fights, you know, 10, 11, and when they start to step up. I haven't been this high on a prospect maybe since, you know, Josh Kelly, and you know, look where that ended up. So you know, you never know, but you know, very
not right either.
No, but no, very impressed. I was very impressed with him, and yeah, look forward to...
I might DAZN that then. I might go look at the that fight.
Yeah, check him out. Yeah, well worth watching. Fight before that, Kieran Conway. Was it Kieran Conway? No, sorry. Shannon Courtney versus Jamie Mitchell was before that. Obviously, Shannon Courtney lost her belt on the scales. I think she had a lot of problems in camp. She was about 3 pounds overweight. Didn't look good, to be honest. It was pretty one-sided. I think I gave Courtney maybe 2 rounds. Jamie Mitchell was just had her backed up against the ropes. Courtney did catch her, quite a few times on the back foot, but it was really all Mitchell for me. And it was a little bit closer on the scorecards than I thought it was. And this is the thing that it kind of annoyed me a little bit, with this kind of baffled look on Shannon Courtney's face, a little bit similar to Anthony Yard when he lost to Lyndon Arthur. This just kind of gobsmacked. I have no idea, how have I not won that fight? I thought I won the fight. I don't know. I don't know who you blame on that. Do you blame them? Do you blame the trainer? Was she getting the wrong advice? Could she have been told in the last 2 or 3 rounds she needs to step on the gas, she needs to put her under pressure, she needs the knockout? Are they getting the wrong advice? I think I remember George Groves against Badu Jack pretty much fired his trainer because he was told that he was winning the fight, and then obviously Badu Jack won. So he clearly blamed the trainer. I think it was Paddy Fitzpatrick at the time. So and George Groves obviously sees that as a big blemish on his record. If he was given different advice, or look, you need to kind of step on the gas, we're in Vegas, you need these last 2 rounds, or you need these last 3 rounds, and Paddy Fitzpatrick told Groves that he was winning the fight. So yeah, bit of an odd one. I think they're going to rematch, it looks like, so that'll be featured on an undercard somewhere.
Like you said, there's a few. It's happened all the way through boxing, but there's this. It's a bit like when someone goes off on F1 and they always blame the other driver and they can't see anything wrong with themselves. Football managers are very one-sided. It's part of sport, I think, but it's more dangerous in boxing because you might think that you're getting the bad rub of the green or something in football, but the score. There's no hiding from it. You 1-0 down or whatever. So when you're having to make a judgment of how well you're doing in a fight, and you're looking at things over sunny side up, it can be to your detriment.
Yeah.
And I'll do it. And you're right, it is annoying when they have that baffled look on their face, where it's almost like they can't sense that, hey, you might be winning this, but it's close, and therefore you could lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't seem to be able to sense when it's close, and I don't know if it's like, all those 3 jabs and that hook that's landed on me this round, I've forgotten, but that one jab I landed, that I remember that. I don't know how they seem to get what they get hit with and over remember what they've done.
Yeah, and I think with something like boxing, it's very subjective as well. It can be, some fights can be quite tight and very wide, like on the scorecards, because of what a judge likes. Sometimes they like, aggression or ring generalship. But in every department, Shannon Courtney lost that fight. There's nobody that could tell me that there's a case that Shannon Courtney that won that fight, or that it was close. And Eddie Hearn himself actually said he thought the fight was close. And for me, I don't know, you lose credibility when you start saying stuff like that.
And even if it's close, even if she said, "Oh, gutted there, I thought that was a bit closer," that's not so bad, because you can think it's close and know that, right, if it's close, you can lose it. I easily won. It's like, people don't seem to be able to sense, not even that they're losing, that it's close, and that means it could go either way. You still make it where it's a point. I know it didn't go to points in the end, but if Fury hadn't have knocked him down, and it would have just carried on in that theme, there'd have been no question whatsoever.
No.
But a lot of fights aren't like that. They're very nip and tuck, and if it's very close, you're leaving yourself open to lose. So.
And the first fight that I watched, I joined it was Kieran Conway versus JJ Metcalf. So JJ Metcalf making his comeback after the Ted Cheeseman 11th round stoppage. Obviously, making a comeback against Kieran Conway. Kieran Conway, obviously a seasoned campaigner. on the domestic scene at 154. I think this fight was actually at 156. And Kieran Conway really kind of was just, I wouldn't say cruised, you know, because JJ Metcalf did have his success. He really was trying to draw him into a bit more of a dogfight, as you know, Conway was really landing the better shots in the exchanges, and he just looked generally a little bit more comfortable. And yeah, as I say, landing the cleaner work. Metcalf did, you know, he was trying everything the last sort of 2 or 3 rounds to try and drag him into deep waters, and Conway just, he showed actually pretty, you know, some good work, and yeah, saw it through to a unanimous, I believe it was unanimous win for Kieran Conway. And that was the
going to retire or something. I saw him say something like he's going to go back to frying chips or something.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I didn't see that. Do you know what? I didn't really see that many interviews, like post interviews. I saw the Shannon Courtney Mitchell post fight interview, which was actually a little bit awkward, because obviously Courtney thought she had won. I saw the Smith interview as well, but other than that, I didn't really see that many interviews. But it's a great card, really good night of boxing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously didn't get to bed until about 11:30, and then I was up at 3:30 for the big one. So yeah, great night of boxing.
Great weekend of boxing, but yeah, tough to get through it all when they're on at those times. But there we are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my wife has been a boxing widow this weekend with all the fights that I've been watching, and now I'm doing this as well. So it's like a double whammy.
What have we got coming up next then?
Good question. Next weekend, I think there is a big fight next weekend. Actually, let me just have a quick look. Is there any news? Did I hear that Kid Galahad has got a fight coming up, or they're announcing he's got a fight coming up?
Okay. We did Thursday, I think, didn't we? I don't know much more. I heard there was a few fights, or was there some fights that fell through on the Liverpool card?
Yeah, Natasha Jonas was supposed to be on there. More arguments, I think, between Eddie Hearn and Joe Gallagher. I think apparently they offered her 4 or 5 fighters, rejected them all, and then they suggested a fighter who was kind of had a losing record, and Eddie Hearn rejected it. So I think they're kind of at loggerheads again. Yeah, not great. But I think that was the only one that fell through. I didn't hear of any others. Solomon Dakers, I didn't see his fight. Yeah, that was one actually that I do want to kind of catch up on. But yeah, I think the next big one really is going to be Dillian White versus Otto Wallin, which is a massive fight now, because the winner of that is going to potentially take on the Gypsy King.
Yeah, well, we'll be at that one.
Yes, tickets are booked, passports sorted. The COVID passport, so we can get in.
Kevin for the video.
Yeah, Maris Bradis is fighting next weekend. And of course, if he wins that, then obviously going to be looking to fight against Lawrence Okoli. And then you've got the Sky Boxer. I think it is, yeah. And then we've got the Sky card. So you've got Huey Fury versus Christian Hamer, Saturday, 16th. So that's next weekend. So I'm not overly excited about that one, to be honest. Savannah Marshall's on the undercard. Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting against Wanik Awadjan.
I did see him pop up on Sky Facebook saying so many days to go. So I thought, oh, he must have got another fight. But I'll probably,
Christ.
For predictions, but maybe we'll watch the watch the fights and do a video. I'm actually, I'm in London this weekend, so I'm going to struggle actually. We'll see. Right. Might have to do a Monday vid.
Lewis Ritson's on the card as well. I'm surprised he's not headlining actually, because it's in Newcastle. But Lewis Ritson is fighting Henry Lundy. That's at light welterweight. Henry Lundy is pretty handy actually.
He's coming back from a defeat, though, isn't he? So
He is, yeah. But that Henry Lundy is decent. He's been in against Thomas Delaunay and Terence Crawford. So yeah, that'll be an interesting fight.
okay, right.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody for listening. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.